Oh, you're in a midlife crisis, trying to find out which is the best mid-engine sports car to buy so you look cooler and attract the ladies. Well, the new Cayman GT4 RS is your car, but the car can't do miracles. To understand the 718 Cayman GT4 RS, we need to understand its predecessors. The beginning of a new era for Porsche, in 1957, a new car was announced. It was the 718, not named because of a marketing genius, just a simple consecutive designation. This small number would soon be written large on the racetrack and, eventually, on the streets. Weighing in at just 530 kilograms, the 718 had a mid-engine, something Porsche is known for. It gave the car its perfect balance from one end to the other. This cornering machine had a sleek profile with rounded wheel arches that provided great aerodynamics for the time. The 1.5-liter Type 574-3 engine provided it with a reliable and efficient 142 horsepower. With the agility and a great power-to-weight ratio, this was the car to see in a race. Despite the car being great, the debut of the 718 at the 1957 24th of Le Mans was quite anticlimactic, crashing out of the race on lap 129. Lucky for them, it wasn't me driving. I would probably stall and then burn the clutch. After some more development on the Porsche's side, the 718 got its first podium in March 1958 at the 12H of Sebring, getting them the third place overall in the win for the 2.0-liter class. The first overall victory came in 1959 at Targa Florio, with the 718 RSK heading up a quadruple win for Porsche. Now then, you know what you can do more than quadruple? The amount of movies and TV shows on Netflix by using ExpressVPN. Have you ever wanted to watch a TV show from Japan, maybe Korea or any other country? This is your chance. Link is in the description. You can thank me by smashing that like button and subscribe to the channel. I bet you will enjoy the content. In 1960, a new version of the 718, dubbed the RS60, with reshaped bodywork and engines that made the most of a stronger crankshaft. This reworked version led Porsche to victories at the 12H of Sebring, the Targa Florio, and many more. Together, the 718 RSK and RS60 won more than 1,000 races, stacking up victories in the smaller displacement classes in addition to overall wins. Dominating motorsports, something I definitely couldn't do even on a LaFerrari against 150 horsepower cars. Moving on, in the 60s, the 718 success proved to be crucial to Porsche, demonstrating power of efficiency and precision, highlighting how the company's flat-4 race cars could keep up with the much more powerful machinery. Even though the 718 was a giant killer, it was perhaps overlooked by Porsche once its heyday was done. Unfortunately sandwiched between the legendary 550 and 911, the legacy of the 718 was consigned for a long time. But a champ always gets up, and in 2016, Porsche revived the historic 718 Boxster and the 718 Cayman, both for passionate drivers and sugar babies who can't afford the 911. The 718 line is known for the poor man's Porsche, but it's also a great option for a daily driver, which you can also take to the track, as it started life in a more humble fashion, but it has made up for it by now. The car's efficiency, compactness, performance, and practicality rings true in a 21st century context, just as it did in the 50s and 60s. Channeling the spirit of mid-century motorsport with even more grace and power with the 718 Boxster and Cayman GTS versions are already effortlessly iconic, and you can bet that the best ever track-focused 718 Cayman GT4 and GT4 RS will follow the same path. Finally, a car that your local dentist insecure about his sexuality can buy without crying himself to sleep, because no person in his right mind would say the Cayman GT4 is a girl's car. The GT4 has a naturally aspirated flat six engine speeding towards 8100 RPM. You find yourself having goosebumps trickling down your spine. The 4.0-liter engine behind you makes the whole car vibrate. This car feels alive. The 4.0 engine is basically a naturally aspirated version of the 911s, but Porsche did a lot more than just pulling out the snails in the engine bay. They increased the bore and the stroke swell displacement by a liter, and the heads, manifolds, and other internals are all new. With the 718 heritage of efficiency, Porsche added cylinder deactivation under light load, alternating banks every 20 seconds to balance wear. Does it work? Reportedly on the highway, the activation sounds a bit like exhaust leak. This is why most people disable it. With this, you get the added joy of listening to naturally aspirated flat six raspy idle. The 4.0-liter torquey engine has 414 horsepower, and it screams until it hits the rev limiter at 8100 RMP. It is a 49 horsepower increase over the 4-cylinder Cayman, but there's a huge difference between a 4-cylinder turbocharged and 6 cylinders breathing atmospheric pressure. The brute force of turbochargers is undeniable, but the linear output of a naturally aspirated engine is vastly more engaging. With the more responsive engine and with some suspension parts shared with the like of the GT3, it makes it a proper race car for trust fund kids who want to get into it. because this little thing comes with an $83,000 price tag for the base model car. The 718 line is set to carry on the old 911's ethos, and boy does this GT4 do just that. The GT4 achieves its greatness by channeling its great-granddad, the 997 GT3. Both cars feature 400-ish HP flat-6 engines that rev past 8,000 RPM, a manual transmission, and all the tactile feel one might ever want. The GT4 can tickle every car person in the right spot, and in some awkward spots as well. Because if you get almost $6,000 one-piece bucket seats that look racy and actually do their job of not moving around in high G corners, they are absolutely trash for daily use. They are not adjustable, and the aggressive thigh bolster is a pain in the butt to settle into. I mean, if you drop in too early, it gives you a free prostate exam. It might be your thing, I don't know. Despite all its quirks and features, the Cayman's GT4 was elected the 2019's Car of the Year for many automotive magazines, and I must say that it looks like they were correct. This is a complete masterpiece designed to destroy every single circuit you throw at it. But if you know Porsche, you know they wouldn't settle for just that. So they are building what might be the best ever 718 supercar ever. The 2021 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS. The top of the range Cayman ever created was spotted at the Nürburgring, showing how Porsche wanted to highlight their racing heritage by testing on the most hardcore track and the most hardcore version, the RS. Spotted with minimal camouflage, the testing prototype sports notable bodywork additions. At the front, there are versions of the Nakabonnet air ducts similar to those on the 911 GT2 RS, while the rear quartered windows have been replaced by slatted cooling vents. A new addition are the blanking plates at the front, which suggests the hardcore Cayman will gain similar wing-mounted air outlets to its 911 GT3 RS sibling. Basically, the GT4 is the normal racy version, and the GT4 RS is the hardcore Super Saiyan version. With the huge bespoke rear wing, significantly larger than that of the standard GT4, appears to be mounted higher and to use a new mounting design. Also changed over the standard GT4 are the wheels, which forego the traditional 5-lug pattern in favor of a motorsport-inspired century-lock mechanism that hints at the car's track potential. More power should also be on the table given Porsche's past habits with the other RS cars, with rumors suggesting close to 450 horsepower. The standard GT4 features a newly developed 4.0-liter flat-6 delivering 414 horsepower and 309 pound-per-feet of torque. For the GT4 RS, Porsche is expected to add internals borrowed from the 911 GT3's 4.0-liter engine, which is rated at 500 horsepower, specifically the GT3's titanium connecting rods and dry stump system. These could help the GT4 RS's engine rev higher to produce more power. While the standard GT4 comes with a 6-speed manual and from 2021 the options of a dual-clutch transmission, the GT4 RS is likely to come exclusively with the DCT given the performance benefits of the quick-shifting transmission. There are sure to be some chassis upgrades to go with the extra power and aero mods as well. The GT4 already features adaptive dampers and a ride height 1.18 inches lower than on standard 718 models. The cars also feature manual adjustment of the camber, toe, ride height, and anti-roll bar settings. It isn't clear is whether the related 718 Boxer Spider will also receive the RS treatment, though such a move isn't likely given the hardcore nature of Porsche's RS designation. In 2019, the man in charge of the 718 and the 911, Frank Walliser, stated that he would definitely like to see a faster, even more track-focused RS version of the 718 Cayman GT4, but the decision wasn't made yet. Well, I guess our friends in Stuttgart decided to give us a present for 2021. He also said that everyone was asking for the RS version. He would like to see the car with some more power, and unfortunately it will be a lot more expensive than the normal one. Well guys, it's time to get your sugar mommy working, because otherwise, not even with a trust fund, you guys will be able to afford it. Porsche has never made a GT4 RS, previously suggesting such a model would be too close in price and performance to the 911 GT models. But the new 4.0-liter flat-6 found in the latest GT4 forms part of an all-new engine family, and it's expected that Porsche will spin off further variants of that unit to justify the investment. We need to make many cars so we can make much money. More supercars, more supercars! It's understood that the brand is looking to reintroduce the flat-6 to more mainstream Cayman and Boxer variants as part of a facelift. Although Walliser would only confirm that Porsche started the thinking process on this, he also said that the US market has been less welcoming of the current 4-cylinder models than hoped.
Here in America, we don't want 4 cylinders. That's what spies want us to start using. We want 6-liter V8s. Only that can make America great again.
The idea of electric 718 models was also discussed. He claimed that the go-ahead was 5, but he didn't want to change the character of the car, and neither would like to change the price point, because Porsche needs an entry-level car, otherwise people will just buy the 911. He continued to emphasize not wanting to change the car's character, not making it very heavy, despite that being very tricky. The car will come with a relatively small volume. You know what isn't in a small volume? Yes, the number of likes we should get. Let's start with you. Come on, we know you want to, and feel free to smash that like button as well. Thank you, I really hope you enjoy the video and the car. Good luck trying to get one of these though. So, see ya!